sometimes the smartest thing you could do to protect your money and create accountability is to open up a second account. So you have two accounts, one with your daily operating money and then one with some savings. Don't touch it. Every time you're spending money on junk, you're stealing from your future. Today we're talking about the conversation of having separate bank accounts from each other. And so many people ask this question, hey, should we have separate bank accounts? Should we have one bank account joined? Or what's your thoughts? Mm-hmm. Now, we know people who have had it both ways.
Right. We know some that have their own bank accounts, some pay bills out of theirs, some pay, they just do different things. But we have separate accounts for different things, but we have one joint account.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I've never seen it that way. I've never understood. I guess, like I know some of our friends, they both have careers, mm-hmm. and they pay some parts out of theirs,
right? And
then this person pays some out of their bank account.
Yeah.
I've never really understood that. However, to each his own.
Right.
For us, we just, hey, here's the account. This is where the money goes, where we pay for all the bills. Now, out of the difference, you also were a homemaker, mm-hmm. so there wasn't two careers. But even with that, our mindset would still be best to combine the funds. Right. I think not that people are dishonest with each other, but I think it brings accountability mm-hmm. to the account and making sure that everybody's holding each other accountable. Because what's the one thing we say? Look, most people are spending money on things today that are stealing their future.
Yeah.
So if you really want to have the best potential for success, you have to be accountable to each other mm-hmm. in what you're spending every day, especially when you both are planning for retirement or for college or the things that come, all the big expenses, weddings that come in your future because of your life and your journey mm-hmm. that you're going to need some money for.
Right.
So if you're not accountable to each other, you may just come up short.
Right. And we don't know, if they don't know what is in each other's account or if they do or not. But it seems like if you've got your own separate account, then you just do with it what you will. I don't know. I don't really know. I don't understand it much either. But
so
it just seems...
we have multiple accounts, but it was for different reasons. Mm-hmm. So I do believe firmly, and this is something that I teach others as well, you should have multiple accounts. Not individual multiple accounts, but multiple accounts in that, hey, here's our operating account. So you basically are setting up your home like a business structure. Here's our operating account, here's our cash account. So in other words, or investments or whatever it is that you're into, everybody's at a different level. But when we started, we had a second account, and that second account was just to put the bulk of what we were trying to save, even if it was just an extra $100. Into that account. So out of sight, out of mind. I'm a big proponent of that saying. Yep. If you constantly have all your money that you've saved right in front of you that you can see, it often brings on the thought of, hey, what can I buy?
Right.
What
It's easier just
next?
to spend it and dwindle it away if it's there.
Yeah, so you see it in your face all the time and you think, oh, we got plenty of money.
Yeah.
Well, do you?
Right.
That's the question. Mm-hmm. You may, but if you're dwindling it away because you think you have extra, the greatest constraint you have is to not think you have extra.
Right.
Separate that so you make a determination that I'm only going to work out of this operating account.
Yep.
Whether it's shared with your spouse or not, obviously that's a personal choice, and set that aside. I believe that one component there has been the greatest opportunity for us to grow our savings and protect our future simply by having an account that we set that other money aside, because it's just not as accessible as the accounts you use every day. Yeah,
and it definitely made it easier for us, like you said, to stay on our budgets and just not overspend.
Yeah, because the money you see in there, if you don't have a large amount of excess, then you won't be too comfortable. You're going to be rigid in whoa, hey, what did we spend, this week? Why did they get so low? Or what did we spend this month that drained our account so low? We need some money in there,
right?
Whatever it may be.
Yeah. So business-wise, there's accounts that you have for for business-wise, like savings as well, or just for the different business? They're not tied to personal stuff at all. It's all business.
No, the business is a little bit different. So, based on your business structure, profits get paid out to shareholders. So, each year. So it's not like we have multiple accounts, but there'll be some for international transfers and stuff to protect the main account, the primary account. So, if you're trading investments yourself or doing anything, some people buying crypto and those things, which is starting to gain traction. Anything that you're, doing things like that, or even subscriptions. I make it a point because everybody wants your money through subscriptions these days. So it's wise to have a secondary account that you funnel money into that all your subscriptions are paid through, or any transfers, any ACH or anything like that. So you can easily segment them, and you can only keep a certain amount of money in there so it doesn't get carried away.
That's good. Also
for fraud or identity theft or some of the things that happen. We've had some checking accounts that were infiltrated to where they had to shut them down. Luckily, the bank security caught it quickly. But those are just little things that we do to help keep your money safe, number one. So, finding our primary account would be pretty difficult because there's several and they're designed for different things to protect us, number one. Number two, they also, like I said, they set aside your savings. If you are investing, that could be another whole account, where you trade from. So
it's not in your normal working account you work from.
It's not an account you work from, and it's not in your personal account or anything like that. So, I tell most folks, think through how you can separate the structure and how you operate your life. But the best thing personally is to separate those funds. So you create a budget, you decide this is what we're going to operate within, and this is what we have extra. So that way that secondary account that's somewhere else, it has time to grow without you digging into it on a regular basis. And then when you do need something, you have the funds available, and it doesn't create a catastrophic event for you. Or if you're saving for a car, at some point you'll have the funds available. If you leave it in your primary account, what happens is people generally just nickel dime it away, and you end up with no extra.
Yep, exactly. I mean, we've heard of that happen a lot. So yeah, it's very good because you've taught our girls. Everybody in our family, you've discussed those type of things about putting money separate in different account, a savings account or whatever.
So at the end of the day, I would say this: you have to be a good steward of your money. We're called to be a good steward biblically. You need to be able to, if you're a person of faith, then you absolutely should be supporting your local church. If you're part of that church and they're pouring into the community and doing the work that Jesus tells us to do, you should have enough to be able to do that. And there's the 10% is not. There's a whole argument around that as far as biblically when people say, "Well, I can't afford 10%." Great, give a 0.5%, whatever it is.
Whatever you can.
Give something so you at least give God the trust in your finances as well. And you'd be amazed at the blessings that come from that. But it's not about 10%. That was about the storehouse, and that was about grain and protecting the food resources of the time. And I know a lot of certain denominations will kind of wrap that back into, you're supposed to give the church 10%.
Right.
I don't subscribe to that, but to each his own. That's where I'm at. So for those who, really should be doing that because it's an extension of your heart, if you're practicing your faith and you follow Jesus, then you should be doing that. You should be giving something. So this also helps protect that to where you have that something to give. And start small, even if it's $1, even if it's 10, 20, whatever is small to you, and work your way up. And you'd be amazed at, it's not that you're buying your blessings. It's not that. It's that you're giving God your heart, and you're showing gratitude and thankfulness and pouring into the community. And somehow there's this amazing blessing that comes from doing that.
Yes.
But you gotta have the extra somewhere. So if it's all in your primary account and you're burning through it on a regular basis, then you don't have extra because you can't control your money. Stick it somewhere else.
Yeah, it's good.